Joined now by the Republican Congressman from Pennsylvania, Dan Meuser, who's a member of that Problem Solvers Caucus, also the House Budget Committee. And, you know, we've been down this road before, literally. I mean, remember having you on, I think, to talk about an effort that you guys made a few months ago. And as Edward reported a few minutes ago, maybe this one won't even get a vote on the floor. I mean, what are you hearing about the effort that you guys are putting forth?
Well, it should, and you're right. Last few months ago, the Problem Solvers came with a $1.5 trillion bill that was quite targeted. Frankly, I like this one a lot better. It's even more targeted. It's addressing needs. We have real needs. There continues to be a high level of unemployment. Now, it's rapidly declining, but it exists. It's at 6.9% nationally, 7.3% in Pennsylvania. We also have needs in our schools. We need funding for vaccine distribution, all of which this bill contains. So we've got added PPP because we continue to have a very significant small business shutdown issue in Pennsylvania, particularly with restaurants. So, yeah, I'm very glad we got a bicameral, bipartisan initiative here. And now, you know, the Democrats have to come to the table. I'll tell you this, Connell, the Republican leadership in the House has been willing to negotiate from the very beginning. So let's do it.
Well, let's talk about some of those specifics because, and correct me on any of this that I'm getting wrong, but from what I understand, you mentioned some of them. To get to $908 billion, you have on the weekly unemployment benefits, which are important to people who are still trying to get back on their feet. You take $300 from the federal government and extend that for 4 more months. You do have state and local aid, from what I read in there, so $200 billion plus. And you, like you said, you have PPP money. I believe that's maybe $300 billion. You don't have direct checks, do you? And is that how you save? Is that how you keep it under, say, $1 trillion? So you don't have direct checks going out to people, right?
We don't. What would have known as the stimulus funds, they're not in this bill, and we are not seeing necessarily, sure, a lot of families are out there struggling, but a consumer spending issue. What we wanted was a targeted bill. Mitch McConnell has said from the very beginning, we want it to be targeted. We don't want to spend $1 more than we have to. I mean, this thing's $950 billion, but it is targeted. It's focused on businesses, focused on schools, and it does provide for that $300 unemployment supplement, as well as funding for hospitals, which is crucial. We do have an increase in COVID cases, and the hospitals are under some stress.
Right. We're seeing that all around the country, which you talk about on the show every day. There's another bill floating around on the Senate side from Republicans I don't think goes as far, right? So is there some, you talked about Democrats having to come to the table, point well taken, but are there some Republicans who are not willing to quite go as far enough as they need to yet in terms of getting something through both houses?
Well, perhaps. Hopefully it's just a negotiation that's taking place. But again, the Republican leadership in the House is very willing to negotiate. I mean, we were at a 1.2 trillion number not too long ago. And some of the negotiation is taking place with what states need, not what states want, but what states need. My state of Pennsylvania, for instance, is forecasting a $5 billion deficit through 2021. This bill will deliver almost precisely, I think if my math is right, about $5 billion for the loss of revenue during the course of the COVID, not for bailouts for things from the past, but again, focused, targeted, based upon need. That's what I think the Problem Solvers bill has done, and it's nice to see Republicans and Democrats in the Senate coming to the table, along with 25 Republicans and 25 Democrats in the House.
Yeah, we don't see much of it anymore, and yeah, it'll be interesting because, like you said, that's what the Democrats said they wanted was the state and local money, and there is some of this in there on a targeted basis. Congressman, thank you once again, Dan Meuser from Pennsylvania.